Okay, so market's been pissing me off this morning. I'll admit. Okay. So this is no surprise. Bitcoin came down last night and we were finding support off of 28,800. Like I said, no big surprise. That is the macro local low. Bitcoin had that while no other coin really had that. Ethereum was able to go down lower, all right, because it did not have a macro support. The next macro support is either 2150 or 1700. Right now we're kind of in no man's land, so anything can slip either way. All right, and just like I predicted last night while we were sitting in the voice calls, Ethereum, all right, came up, wicked me into my conditional trade, stopped me out, and then pumped right back up. So unfortunately, if we don't come back down to around 1980, 1990, I'm not going to be able to get an entry on Ethereum. So I am hoping that the market comes down a little bit more, but we are back above our, I don't want to say macro because it's not necessarily a macro, but macro in terms of what we've been working with the last couple of days. The immediate price action that requires attention, okay? Obviously, when we look at the macro, 2150 and 33K are the numbers that we need to be aware of on Ethereum and BTC respectively, all right? But in terms of short-term price action, as long as we are back above 1978, we are bullish, and as long as we are back above, let's see, particularly on the smaller time frames, 29,066, we are bullish. All right, so everybody that's in the chat right now telling me that you were shorting or blah, 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 I don't know what you're talking about. All right, now, I do agree that like if you were playing this ABC right here, you would have gotten your shit rocked, and that is unfortunate, but that's the name of the game. Sometimes that happens. All right, it's not perfect every time, but when it is, you're going to hope that you took the trade. Okay, I have also been feeling that way. I've been taking the KDA long here at $2.65. And I've gotten stopped out probably about at least 8 times so far. So, all right, give it a rest. Give it a rest. Shit happens. All right. Now, luckily, I'm not using full risk on this. I'm not using 2%. I'm not using 3%. I'm not even using 1%. I'm using about 0.33% risk when I'm touching KDA. All right, because that's a low liquidity market. There is slippage. And even though I'm calculating about $25 worth of risk, I'm actually losing about 30. Okay. So you need to be careful if you are playing altcoins. I don't know how many times I have to say it. So many people get burned. Use low risk. The high risk to reward is the reward if it happens, but the chances of it happening are slim. So you need to risk accordingly. Okay. You can't afford to get stopped out 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You don't deserve to be there, right? Because you're doing something wrong. Check out the US 100. So we are still sitting back below the local low, about 12,219. We do need to recover that in order for us to get bullish once again. Now we might have a little bit further downside price action, either a lot more, coming back down to about 11,000, or if we can put in a lower low off of 11,695, that could form this ABC that we marked out last night. All right. And then from there, that might be the potential that we need to get back above 12,000 and then soar even further up to get back above 13K. 13K is the magical number. If we can get back above that, we'll see the markets rally. SPY, sort of the same situation. All right, we came back up and we retested 404, which is a macro local low, which if we could have got back above and found support, it would have been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, not how it worked out. All right, it does have a chance to go put down in a lower low at 385. And if we do happen to come back above 385 and show support, we might be able to rally from there. Otherwise, we'll continue slipping down to about 372. All right, that's it for the macros. Like I said, BTC does have the advantage of sitting alongside a macro support that it looks like it wants to hold. So on these slips to the downside, it doesn't seem like it wants to come down that far. I'm sure there'll be a fake out maybe, but we aren't seeing that just quite yet. All right, so at the moment, that's kind of what I'm up to. I'm waiting on an Ethereum position if the market is so lucky to give it to me. Otherwise, I'm kind of on the back burner, waiting for KDA to get back above 265. Not really a lot to do today. It's just a nice chillax day. It's nice and sunny outside. So I don't think I'm going to be on live stream long. I do plan on going to take a shower, cleaning up, probably going to get a haircut, get some food, and then probably try to go to an optometrist. Get a appointment scheduled because I need my prescription updated pretty soon. But how we doing? What's going on? Krypton, hello. Nick 2009. What's up from the UK? Howdy doody. Now, typically when people put like a year in their gamer tag or handle, it indicates that's how old they are. If you're out here trading and you were born in 2009, more power to you. Although highly illegal, but we'll keep that on the hush. Unless there was a very significant part of your life that happened in 2009. Otherwise, I understand. Wait, I played that 29K on BTC and only got stepped out once or twice. Well, if you're using a good a stop loss, but if you were using a 1%, you probably would have gotten stopped out a good number of times here. Unless you woke up and you caught this last, dip down and then pump back up. Things can happen in a certain way where you're just lucky. All right, it's happened to me a couple times. All right, but if you were sitting up all night through this price action, you probably would have gotten stopped out once. Let's see. How far is 1% from here? Okay. That's actually not that bad. That's not as bad as I thought. I was expecting like KDA levels of destruction. So yeah, like you probably would have gotten stopped out. Maybe once right here. Twice right here. And yeah, I guess, if you were doing everything correctly, you got the exact entries, you should have only got stopped out maybe twice to 3 times. So, I don't know. Maybe the mister that got stopped out too many times was using a 0.25% risk. 0.25% stop loss. I replied to it. It does. So there is no entry for it, unfortunately. All right, unless you want to just go in open air. But of course, it's a possibility. So like if we look across the board at like maybe KDA, for example, KDA is putting in a short setup right here. I won't deny that. But I have to listen to the macro. I can't abandon what the highest probability is. As long as we're above 265, this is the active trade. All right. Now, this could be telling us that this ABC wants to go further downside and see maybe a lower low, which I would not be opposed to. If we can get a lower low, maybe a tap off of $1.90, that's always going to be a lot more profit, turn into something like this. And then an entry back at about 214, 219. All right. But when it comes to, I think you were pointing out maybe BTC or Ethereum, there's no short setup up here. There wasn't over here and there's not right here. So yeah, of course we can always go back down and maybe put in a lower low, turn this into one gigantic A, this into a B, and this into a C. Of course that's an availability. But at the same time, we have to listen to what the chart's telling us at this very moment. All right. At this very moment, it says as long as we hold 29,082, we are bullish to the upside. We have kind of a 1-2 structure, ABCA, ABCB. All right, so right now, I don't think shorts are necessarily the way to go. Like I said, I don't doubt that there's going to be sideways price action, but the fact that we might be putting in lower lows does seem to be dwindling, okay? Like it's always a possibility, but at the moment in time, we have to listen to what the price action is telling us at this very moment. All right, right now, it's telling us to be pretty damn bullish. Okay, I was doing an analysis of trading account of streamers with active viewers, and not surprising there's a correspondence. I don't doubt it. People are money hungry. It's posturing, if you drive a fancy car and you show it off all the time, people are going to see you as a way to get towards their fancy car dreams. If you have a gigantic portfolio and you're betting stupid amounts just because the wind blows a certain way, then people are going to see you as a way to get to their dreams of large accounts. But I'm not playing that game. 1, the integrity of it. 2, it keeps those types of people that ask certain questions out of here. I'm willing to teach anybody, but there's people that aren't willing to learn. That's the difference. Can't we find a way to get stopped out less times than a 1% stop loss? Of course we can. All right, I'm gonna keep playing at the 1% stop loss. There's absolutely no reason in the world that if you are not comfortable with a 1% stop loss, you should be using it. There's nobody telling you that you have to use that. You're just looking at what I'm doing and copying exactly what I'm doing. I've told you before, use the risk reward calculator, set up the stop loss that you want to set up, but realize that it is a trade-off. When you want security, you are giving up risk and profit, okay? When you want profit, you are acquiring more risk and less security. It is a trade-off, and there's no way to get past that, all right? Mining is probably the best thing, the closest thing that you can get to all profit, no risk, all right? Because it immediately allows your risk-to-reward ratio to carry an altcoin to victory with minimal risk. But with leverage trading, you don't have that availability. So use a 3% stop loss, set up the risk-to-reward calculator, use the proper leverage. But just understand you're not going to be making as much money. So then part of you is probably going to want to go, I'll just use more margin. But then nothing really changed. All right, you're risking more, but don't have as much R&R availability. So therefore, if you do get stopped out, the trade is pretty much null and void exactly at the moment you get stopped out. There's an equal trade-off to everything. You do not have to copy me exactly. And of course, like you said, there is a way to get stopped out less times. But I'm willing to get stopped out because of the profit it provides. What would be your price to take profit on the ABC Bitcoin long? I don't know yet. I absolutely do not know yet. All right, right now we're sitting at macro supports, and we have kind of medium time frame ABCs telling us to long. We have absolutely no ABCs telling us to go short at this moment in time. All right, maybe if we can go ahead and put in a higher high at 31,400 and then come back below. But I'm still only going to be hedging that. I'm not going to be taking profit on my Bitcoin long. All right, until I get a significant ABC at maybe a much, much higher macro resistance, not 33K, maybe around 49, 52. Then we'll start talking about it. But right now, there's absolutely no reason besides greed or fear. We hedged our position with shorts. We took our profit on the shorts. We made more money than we would have lost if we got stopped out of the long. There's no reason. Absolutely no reason. What did LTC come down to last night? Okay, so that doesn't make me feel as bad. Yeah, we would have gotten our take profit hit, because I did take a profit at like 66. No, maybe even a little bit higher here. I'm not sure. I ended up taking profit on LTC with about $1, 120 bucks, $1.20 of net profit. Yeah, we were in Sato's stream translating "hold that shit, brother" in Korean when he got into that long. Hopefully he continues to keep that long. No, there was no long on LTC that I could have taken. Obviously there's smaller time frame longs like this right here at 66.27, but that is not of interest to me. Account right now sitting at about 7,052. When I woke up this morning, we were around like 7,300, but I got stopped out like 5-6 times already on KDA, so there's some of that profit down the drain. But hey, name of the game. Because if we can find support on KDA and see some upside, I mean, even if it's just to form a bearish position around $3.42, that's a lot of profit. 10x leverage all the way up to there is about 300%. I hope it goes further, but we can't count on that. Yeah, I think he's just a more likable crypto face. Maybe it's because I can't understand what he's saying, but at the same time, I feel like that's the correlation in my head. I still scream at the screen whenever I see him do dumb shit, though. No, Sato, no, no. It feels like it. That's the unfortunate part. I feel like he, unfortunately, is one of the ones that kind of like just goes where the wind blows. Just in time. Get it? Because we just started the last stream a little bit ago, and you're just in time. Yeah. You got stopped out 6 times, so you're manually re-entering after every stop out. Yeah. Well, like at that time, we were sitting pretty much along that 265. Like in a situation like this, where we're nicely below it, maybe if I have to walk away from the computer, even if not, 265 quantity. You can always set up conditional. Won't hurt you. Can you pull up the DXY and see what's going on? Sure. I'm not really too interested in the DXY, but we'll check it out. That's just a retracement. That's all it is, my dude. I believe last time we were talking about the Dixie, we pointed out the fact that as long as we stayed under about 103, it wasn't looking too good, and I believe we marked out 102. You can see ABC top. Now, if we can't hold 102, that's when it gets bad. Bad. You can see these are our supports here. Obviously, this one is much stronger than this one, but this is a local low within this uptrend, so we'll see what happens. As well as that, if we look at the 12-hour daily, we do have major resistance here. So we have a macro ABC on the DXY. You can see that right here. ABC. So probably some sort of retracement coming up here in the future. Right, you go into the gym, you're starting to look like a Chad. I appreciate that. No, it's because I usually wear hoodies, and instead I'm wearing a t-shirt. So it makes me look better, I guess. Yep, I'm still fasting. I haven't had a meal yet today, so that's why I'm kind of looking forward to getting on stream. We're damping? We're damping? Oh my gosh. I want Ethereum to dump down a little bit because I need my entry. Otherwise, I'm going to get left in the dust again. Now, fortunately, if we get back about 2150, I can go long then, just because that's the macro setup, but I would really like this entry. Please, market, please. Be kind to me. The problem is like what I teach isn't complicated, so me making a trading course just feels dirty. Right? Because I really I can't teach you how to change your brain. Because like the setup is easy. You look for downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, or uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. All right, wherever the A is, you short that. If it's an upwards ABC, if it's downwards ABC, you long it. All right, no ands, ifs, or buts. All right, only if this and that statements. All right, as long as you follow that, you should be good. But the problem comes in with the emotions. The emotions are what's getting people like, oh, when should I take profit? When should I take pay? If there's no reason to take profit, you shouldn't take profit. All right, now you can have a plan where like I have a long and that's my macro. So I take profit on the short trades, but leave the longs open. All right, but other than that, it's really just fear and greed getting in people's way. Right now, obviously, like the risk calculations is maybe a hard part for some people, but I have a full like 25-minute video on how to do that. So the course is out there. You just gotta kind of dig in. Hey Kyle, what do you think of Adam's ABC long trade? Kind of iffy since it doesn't look clean to me. Oh, I mean, it's not the cleanest in the world, but that's probably just because it's Adam. All right. I mean, I see it. It's there. What would you have said to this one right here? Would you say it's not so clean? I mean, that one worked out. So, I mean, it's just a chance do you want to take? Now, with the possibility of us coming back down and retesting somewhat on BTC and Ethereum, you might want to hold off, but it's a decent setup. Kitty, remember me? How you doing, buddy? I remember the name, but I don't remember what our inside jokes were. Macro support is at 28,800 all the way down here. We haven't broken macro support yet. Now, and macro support should be seen more like this instead of a direct line. Like a little rectangle like this. Yeah, that's macro support. Okay, how are you? May I ask how many people do you have on your Discord? The reason why I'm making asking, do you reply to everyone or don't have time on Discord? You can ask anybody that's in the Discord. For like the past like 2 weeks, I've been sitting in the voice chat pretty much all day long. I'm there. I don't ignore the Discord. It's right here. Go to my YouTube channel. Any video that does not have a thumbnail that says live is a tutorial. You don't even have to question it. So all the way down here, leverage trade correctly, R&R math tutorial. All right, right here, 22 minutes, my bad. All right, because the ABC method, all fine and dandy. You shouldn't have any trouble with that. The only trouble comes with people underestimating themselves. Oh, you can't find ABCs in real time. All right. Just try it. All right. But the problem is the risk associated. People using too small of a stop loss or using too much risk because they want to make their portfolio big booming bucks all of a sudden. It doesn't happen overnight. All right, trust me, I've tried. All right, now if you have like a super lucky market, of course, yeah, you can do crazy things. But I have made crazy accounts that have went completely zero because greed gets in the way. There's absolutely no reason to be using 5% risk per trade. Doesn't make sense. That's coming from a dude that's done it multiple times. Doesn't work. Might work for a little bit, but given enough time, it doesn't work. Are you waiting for a close inside A wave to go immediately? I am unsure of what you mean by that. If you're talking about Ethereum, I just unfortunately got stopped out while I was asleep, and it pumped up past my entry. So I'm waiting for it to come back down and for me to get a re-entry. Okay, I'm trying to learn the ABCs, but I find the tool in Trading View. I can't find the tool in Trading View. Also, is the AB retracement to the 0.61. Don't worry about the Fibonacci's. All right, don't even worry about that yet. Just worry about, do you have a downtrend? Do you have an uptrend? All right, do you have an ABC top at the top of that uptrend? If not, you just have to wait and then wait for the downtrend. All right, if you have an uptrend and a downtrend, it is simple as, I'm going to wait and see if we put in a higher high. We might never put in a higher high. You have to be okay with that. All right. You mean I have to be okay with sitting around and maybe missing out on profit? Of course you do. But the tool itself, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes down on the left to the patterns box, you'll find Elliott wave correction. But I use it for everything. It's not just a correction to me. Do I think we're going towards lower lows? No. That's me personally. Is it always a possibility? Absolutely. All right, but right now, we have ABC corrections that have gone past their A's. We're holding macro support on BTC. I don't get what all the hubbub's about. I go based off of probability. Right now, the probability is not to the downside. Until we break 28,800 and we have a bearish ABC in that region, I'm not going short, like macro short. If it happens, it happens, and I'll change my mind. Does the B wave go lower or higher than the A? Lower. All right, your B wave can never be higher than the A, all right, because then that's just a big A. This is essentially what you just asked. All right, it's always going to look like this. Now, I guess if it's a downwards ABC, the B is higher than the A. But I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Am I excited to play Modern Warfare 2? Absolutely. I hope they don't screw it up. Because Modern Warfare, the new one, was probably one of the best Call of Duties they come out with in a long time. So, hopefully they can do the same thing with MW2. Bring a little bit of spark of life back into that series. What's your thoughts on volume profile? If you're doing your TA correctly, it should tell you what you already know. No. Trying to get better at setting zones for spot scalping. I'm not too big on scalping anymore, my man. Look at the local highs and local lows of trends. Don't get caught up on the smaller time frames. That's my best advice. Edward, what's going on, man? Look at ENS if it gets to 1297. I doubt I'm going to take it, but... Oh, I see that. That's a nice one. That's a good ABC. You mean higher than the 0? It doesn't matter. Well, actually, yes, it does. My bad. So, like, are you asking like this? Yeah, that's not an ABC. I think someone in the Discord charted this the other day, and this doesn't work. All right, that's not an ABC. All right. If your B is higher or lower than your 0, then that means that your starting place is wrong. All right. This would be an ABC. All right. And then this would be an ABC. They're two separate ones. Now, this A could become that, and that could become that. And they can form a larger ABC structure, but that's how it would work. KDA entry. Did it get back above? Oh, it's about to. Oh, I guess I got wicked in and then wicked out. That sucks. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Kite, what is your advice to be able to build a mindset like yours, for example? Trial and error. Throw shit at a wall, see what sticks. Be honest with what's not working and what is, and don't make excuses. All right. Pick up Trading in the Zone on Audible. Have it playing every single moment of every single day. All right. And don't rush the process. You're going to learn at your own pace. Your brain, it's not just like you need to think differently, but your brain physically needs to change. How your dopamine reacts with the market, how your cortisol reacts with the market. There needs to be a physiological change in how things work when you're watching the charts or taking trades. And that takes a lot of time. There is no easy answer. Stick to the fundamental principles that work mathematically, and you'll be fine. But the problem is that you won't. You'll make excuses why you should be using more risk here. You know, there's so many things that can go wrong. You just have to fail to see what doesn't work. Do you primarily trade ABCs on the 15-minute time frame? It depends on what types of setups we're working with at the time. As they get bigger and bigger, my time frames extrapolate outwards. Like over here, all right, I started, back here, I was using the 15-minute. And then maybe once we get to here, I'm using the 30-minute. And then once we get to here, I'm using the 1 hour. All right, because I went from trading ABCs down here, which I don't think I had a lot of success with except for this one right here, to trading, this one right here, but in conjunction with if we turn into an A and then a B and then into a gigantic C. So then as the setups start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I need to extrapolate my time frame outwards. So it became this. Like over here, I'm on the 4-hour time frame. So maybe that's not too good for this little pocket price action right here, but maybe the 1 hour, 2 hour, we start getting there because you only have to really focus on these lows. All right, you can see this right here. We had uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, slightly higher high, ever so slightly, and then downtrend from there. So now, technically, like the pattern that I am trying to play isn't necessarily the smaller time frames. I'm just trying to, make sure I'm making use of my time. This is the pattern that I really want to play right here. You can see we have ABC, ABC, and then hopefully ABC. Now, I don't think we're going to rocket ship all the way up. I don't. But I do hope that over the course of like maybe a couple months, maybe a year, 2 years, we just have some sideways price action, going this way. And then hopefully back up. Who knows how it's going to work out? Good old KDA. KDA did not take me out yet. It's about to. Is Modern Warfare 2 the old Modern Warfare 2 or remastered? It's probably not. It's not even going to be like a remaster. It's going to be called Modern Warfare 2. Essentially the same thing, but different. Just like how Modern Warfare was Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare was Modern Warfare remastered, and then Modern Warfare was just Modern Warfare again. Makes sense? It really doesn't to anybody, but we roll with it. Hey, Kite, do you know what is the secret behind ABCs? Like, why do they actually work more often than not? Yeah, there's plenty of explanations, but do you really need one? You can have swing failure breakout or swing breakout failure. The psychology of how leverage works. You know, people take breakout trades when they're newer to the market, so you have a whole bunch of breakout trades all in one liquidity pocket. Once they all get stopped out because they're going long, when you get liquidated all long, you're basically selling, so it causes price action to come back down. There's plenty of things you can say. Does anybody know for an absolute certain fact? I don't. I found what works. I keep it simple, stupid, dumb. They make money. Do you trade on weekends, Kite? And do you stream? I stream on weekends, but you know, usually weekends is when I can go do stuff with the fam and stuff. So, you know, it's kind of up in the air whether or not I stream on a weekend. Definitely not on time, that is, unless I'm around for whatever reason. And I do trade on weekends. If the setup is on a weekend, I'm not afraid to take it. Crypto's 24/7. Yep, if you go to my channel, you go to the playlist section and you click on tutorials, you'll find a risk management calculation tutorial. You're not looking with the bird's eye view, my dude. Alright, playing on you're thinking too small of a time frame here. I see what you see, and yes, that is a valid short setup. But because of the situation that we're in, right, I am playing only the macro setups or relative macro setups. Right? Do you see what I see? We have low, high, low. And my hope is that we have ABCA, ABCB, and then we have maybe like an A, B, C, C. Or we can get even higher than that, hopefully. So like my hedge position will probably be around like $3.46. Which actually kind of works that we might get a little bit high than the C. Because you can see like this is a support resistance pocket right here. So we might be able to pump up into it, but then start to struggle to get above it. And that will act as some sort of resistance. If I can get the KDA entry and I miss out on ETH, I'm actually like, I'm gonna be sad, but I'm not gonna be mad. All right, I even called that this was gonna happen. I teach a Playboy model about finances. Be right back. That's a life worth living. Scalping is just easier for me. My Adderall makes me jump the gun when I do longs or shorts. I overthink and get my emotions. Reason I don't take ADHD meds when I go in a casino. I might be taking too much. Oh, if you go to my playlist and you click on tutorials, you'll see all the relative tutorials. All the ones that are worth watching. There's only a couple. And then I need to make a separate playlist for crypto mining tutorials, which is only 2. But I might throw that live stream where I built the PC in there as well. Why, when ABC is complete, another leg is mostly start on another ABC and no continuation on micro scale? I don't know. Because there is no beginning and ends to life. It all runs together like a big blur. You don't know when it started and you don't know when it's going to stop. There you go. Oh, I get it now. Sky Knight. Good one. I'm gonna be honest, I am actually like dying of hunger right now as I'm sitting here. So I'm a little bit hangry, but I'm trying to be nice. Oh my God. All right. I'm not trying to preach to you. I don't think I know better than a doctor, but I've had conversations with doctors and they agree with me. So this is the science. Obviously, do what your doctor says. But anything over 10 milligrams a day, if you don't have more than 3 days off per week, will become neurotoxic. Basically, you are getting more dopamine in your brain. So your brain, okay, goes, we have too much dopamine, right? And because the Adderall allows the dopamine to get in your brain and last longer, at that point, your brain will shrink its dopamine receptors. So if you miss a day of Adderall, you feel like absolute dog shit. Right? You can't get happy, you have no motivation whatsoever. Right? But if you keep the dosage low, around 10 milligrams a day or lower, right, and you take 3 days off a week, you're never going to impact your dopamine receptors. All right. So at that point, when you do have the Adderall, you can fill all 10, theoretically, with dopamine and get like Superman effects. Versus the person who takes their Adderall and they only have 3 dopamine receptors. So, yes, they're getting dopamine, but they don't feel as motivated or happy even with the Adderall at a certain point, if that makes sense. One of the reasons why I do what I do. Right now, I'm on like a 2-month break, just because I feel like it's necessary. But it's a huge problem. Because the thing is like with kids, for example, they might be taking 20 milligrams twice a day, and their parents go, okay, they have 2 days off a week. That's not enough, right? Yeah, it's going to keep that side effect away for a longer period of time because it does take time for the brain to delete those receptors. But eventually, it would catch up to them. And because Adderall causes neuroplasticity, after taking Adderall for a certain period of time, you can actually fix ADHD. The studies are there, and it's been proven. It's just the sad fact is people like how they feel when they're on it, and the withdrawals from it because of the deleted dopamine receptors, terrible. Oh, sir, how did you find the C before it happened, or did you assume it might be a bottom? If we have a downtrend and an uptrend, it's not that I know that it will happen, it's I'm anticipating that it can happen. That way I'm ready for it. Yeah, man, I'm not trying to preach to anybody that they should be doing something a certain way, but that's what I've personally found myself. Um, just see how it works. Like take a day off or two, and you know, it takes a lot of time. That's the problem. Like once you get up to those higher doses, it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. Because trust me, I'm not a square. I think Adderall is a great drug and has a lot of benefits, but you just like anything, you have to use it properly. You have to. And unfortunately, what these doctors are doing to these kids and even adults is not in any way, shape, or form conducive to a healthy society. Well, how long have we been streaming here? Okay, 53 minutes. I'll be on for about 5-10 more minutes. But I need to... I'll order the food now. That way, by the time we're kind of done here, I'll be ready. Just gonna order a snack. Probably gonna go out to dinner tonight. I alternate between snorting and plugging my Adderall. Kidding? Or am I? IDKY, you're still cool with the repeat question, Kite. Wait, what do you mean? My current position is a small risk long on KDA, and I am macro long from 27,629 on BTC. I was really hoping we would see a retest of about 1980 on Ethereum so I can get my long from there again, but unfortunately, I was asleep when I got stopped out and then it ran back up. It happens sometimes. Can dopamine receptors come back? Yes. It takes a decent period of time. And it's unfortunate because, like, okay, theoretically, if dopamine receptors worked like cholinergic receptors or opiate receptors, it would be a terrible time. All right, can you imagine that if you used Adderall, it built more dopamine receptors, meaning you could feel even happier the next time? Clinically, you would be screwed. Everybody would be addicted to everything, which it's already a problem, but at the same time, that would be absolutely terrible. So our bodies are smart enough where it's like, okay, too much dopamine is a bad thing. That's why if you take too big of a dose, you feel like shit, because in real time, you are flooding your dopamine receptors so hard that they get deleted. It's the same thing with serotonin. Like an SSRI, instead of producing more dopamine like Adderall does, because it's dopaminergic, it just allows the dopamine that you already produce naturally to sit in the receptors longer. And it's the same thing. If we can hold on to this serotonin longer, then we don't need as many receptors because we don't want to waste our source. Sometimes the brain's screwed up. Aren't expanded flats with higher high and lower low still in ABC? Not to me, no. All right, like if you're talking about like the macro, all right, that's not an ABC. All right, it's a two-part ABC, yes, but it's not an ABC in itself. All right, see, like right here, we have A, B, C. See how the 0 is lower than the B? That's not an ABC. What that tells us is that we have A, we have B, we have C, and then starting from this, we have A, we have B, we have C. And that should be a good thing for you because that means A, B, C. All right, now if we look at like the index, that is an ABC because we did not put in a higher high. I did check out that game on Steam yesterday. I just looked at the pictures. It didn't really look like it was for me, but do you have it? Is it fun? What about weed? Dr. Kite. Weed is pretty cool. All right. Now, in the past, before I knew the research, I really didn't think that it was possible to have, like withdrawals from marijuana, because I was a pretty heavy marijuana user at one point, and I just quit cold turkey and I didn't have any problems. But that's because people's brains work differently. It's why some people get depressed more easily than others. All right. Marijuana is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor mixed with a psychedelic. So it's pretty freaking awesome. All right. But at the same time, so like serotonin is responsible for your feeling of happiness, right? Whereas dopamine is responsible for your feeling of drive, your motivation to do something, which then can produce happiness from accomplishment. All right. So with the serotonin reuptake inhibitor, it allows your happiness chemicals to remain in your brain longer. That's why people love smoking all day, because they love feeling happy all day. But at the same time, just like with Adderall, you can dwindle down those serotonin receptors. So you have to smoke more and more and more and more. That's where like some people are smoking an ounce a day. But then you also have negative side effects where you can, like, you're losing good sleep. Your ability to get down into deep sleep gets lost. And then as well as that, having a constant psychedelic in your brain can be an awesome thing. But at the same time, I think it's a balance between those worlds. That's all. Everything is good as long as it's in moderation. Now, obviously, there are stipulations on that statement. It's why, like, if you're on like LSD and you smoke marijuana, it makes your trip all weird, right? Because LSD binds to serotonin receptors, kind of like how nicotine can bind to cholinergic receptors. The LSD can get into your serotonin receptors, and then the weed makes it so that it can't get out. So it basically prolongs your trip. And makes it all weird. That's why too much marijuana while taking a psychedelic is an incredibly bad thing. Don't do it. That's where you get lost in the sauce. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and sign off for today. Like I said, I really, really do hope that we actually get a retest of the downside, at least build some sort of like inverse head and shoulders maybe right here, because I want that entry. But if not, let's say for whatever reason we continue pumping, I will be hopping into a long at about 2150 on Ethereum. Reason being, if we look at the macro, that's where the macro A is sitting. We have A, we have B, we have C. Alright, guys, let's pick a song for today's outro. I've been on a Earl saying, someone at the beginning of the live stream, if you're still here. As always, at the bottom of the description, I believe, there is a playlist on Spotify of all the music that I play on live stream from the last couple of weeks. Good variety of different type of music. It's not all rap, it's not all rock, it's not all this. So I mean, check it out. Maybe you'll find something new that you like. Who knows? Actually, okay, let's see what we got. Has my release radar updated at all today? No, it has not. Yeah, we'll just go with Earl St. Clair. How about that? And we'll play Is It Real? Actually, no, I've already played that one before. Let's try to find something new. I've already played that one too. What about home? What about icy? Okay, we'll play icy. All jungle? I may or may not. What's it to you? If you're looking to join the Patreon, it's not a signals group. Yes, I do post when I get into trades, but that is not what I'm here for. All right. So appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. Let's do the thing. So I can go get me some food. Goodbye.